Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're doing very well in your respective places. So in this video was a request by one of our subscribers. She wanted to know how she can prepare for her PhD interview. So this video is to provide you with 10 ways to prepare for your PhD interview. If this is something you like, or if this is something that is important for you, you want to stick to the end of this video and grab all these 10 points that I'm going to elaborate in this video. Then you go grab that PhD interview successfully and come back and tell us the story. Stay tuned. So the very first way you can prepare for a PhD interview is to first do your homework. I'm sure you're used to hearing about this do your homework from me a lot. Yes, because every single thing you do, you must make sure you have gathered enough information about it and you know how to go about it. So what homework are we talking about? Know the school you're applying for. Know the school. Know the faculty. You cannot know all the faculty, but at least pick a few pertinent faculty whose research interests are insightful and master them, so that you can talk about them on that day fluently and they will understand that you have done a lot of research about their school. Also, you should know the basic things about their program. How long is the program? What are the things that they do during the program? So you are supposed to have kind of a vast information about what you're going to do. If the school has received awards, or if the school has received an outstanding recognition, you might want to mention that. So you need to find that out also and make sure you have that idea in your head and you'll be able to articulate it very well during your interview. So any information worth knowing at all about the school, please get to know it. It is better to be well informed than to be less informed. Second, why did you choose that program, or why did you choose that school? So this is in line with the first question, do your homework. But do your homework is more broad, knowing the school in general. Then now specifically, why did you choose that particular program? Is it because that program is well organized in that school? Is it because the faculty that inspire you in that school have a very broad research focus? Is it because there are so many diverse faculty, like blacks and whites and other races mixed? Because racial diversity is a very important thing you want to look out to in a university as well. So you should be able to give reasons why you chose that program. And another reason you can give why you chose that particular program, for instance, my research focus is chronic disease management. So my main focus is because my mom, my dad, my mother-in-law, my late father-in-law, they all had chronic diseases, and I want to know how this can be managed. So your inspiration for choosing that program can be personally linked, can be linked to family. So you might want to mention that this is why I chose this program. It might also be simply due to out of curiosity. So there's no right or wrong answer, but at least you should have in mind what you're going to say and how you're going to articulate it. The third, know your mentor. Which mentor are you going to choose? You want to find out whether this mentor is open to receiving students, because not all mentors are open to receiving students. So prior to the interview, you might want to first of all reach out to the mentor. Tell them their interest, tell them their research focus is of interest to you and you would like to work with them. Get their feedback, positive feedback before the interview, so that they are aware that you are interested in their work and you want to work with them. Because these mentors will speak volumes for you during the interview and even after the interview, and they will greatly influence whether you'll be retained in the program or you will not be given a place. So you want to know the mentor you're choosing, and you can ask from other students about this mentor. Who do you think is good to work with? What do you think about this mentor, and all the likes? So it's good to know who you want to work with. So the fourth point is closely linked to this. What is your mentor's research focus? So you have to know what your mentor is focusing on, and you should at least be able to cite 2 or 3 of his most recent publications during your interview, so that they know very well that this is what interests you. This is what you want to do. During my interview, my mentor had just published an article 2 months before my interview. So I was aware of that, and I was able to talk about it and talk about his other articles that he had published. And they were very impressed. So you want to know what your mentor is doing. You want to know what they have done recently and what they have been doing all over the years in the past. I'm not saying you should go and read all their publications, but at least the most recent ones, you should have an idea about them and you should be able to talk about them with ease. The fifth thing you want to pay attention to is what are your long-term goals and what are your short-term goals. So your long-term and short-term goals can be linked to your research focus. Your long-term or your short-term goal may be to get an admission into a PhD program to be able to impact research in this and this and this domain. So it all depends on you. There's no right or wrong answer, but just know what to say and how to articulate it. That may be your short-term goal. So your long-term goal will be what you want to use your PhD degree for. So your long-term goal may be to become a seasoned researcher to be able to impact say chronic disease, which is my area of focus, or chronic pain, which is my area of focus. It may be to become a seasoned researcher in order to impact maternal morbidity, which is very prevalent in maybe African countries or wherever you're coming from. So it can be anything which is of interest to you, but you should have an idea of your long-term and short-term goals and in the guise of your research interests. Next, how do you plan to pay your fees? So you need to be able to mention, you could have a question like that. You need to be able to know how you'll be able to pay your fees. So it's not, you shouldn't lie that you'll be able to pay your fees by this means if you don't know how to pay your fee. So if you don't know how to pay your fee, you can easily say, I hope to be able to do some research assistant work or to be a graduate teaching assistant so that the school will be able to pay my fee in return. So that way you're showing that you have some services that you can offer, and in return, your fees will be paid. If you're not sure how you're going to pay your fee, don't say my uncle will pay my fee or my parents if you will not be able to afford that. It's good to be credible and it's good to be truthful about this. The next question you might want to prepare for is, what are your relocation plans? Or in case you're taking for this program, how will you relocate? So you should have it planned out. In case you're taking for this program, where are you at right now? You're doing this work. So in case you're taking for this program, you should be able to tell them that, okay, if I'm taking for this program and I'm supposed to be in this country by, let's say, June, it means if I'm taking for this program now in March, I'll tender a resignation in April where I'll be able to get 1 month notification period, after which I'll prepare for my interview, get my visa interview, and once my visa is approved, I'll book my flight and I'll come over. So you should have everything planned out. Like if in case you're working, you should be able to mention that you will follow the norms of the organization you're working for. If they request 2 or 3 months notification period prior to resigning, you should mention it that you will follow these procedures in order to prepare yourself to come for the program. That way they understand that this program is important to you and you're ready to leave what you're doing in order to come and do it. The next question you might want to prepare for is if you'll be a part-time or a full-time student. So the previous question about how you pay your fee can also tally with this one. So you can say you'll be a full-time student who will be able to assist in research projects or as a graduate teaching assistant in order to get funded scholarship. So you might want to say, yes, you'll be a full-time student if you will be a full-time student. If you want to be a part-time student, say, yes, you'll be a part-time student because you want to retain the job you're doing while doing your PhD alongside. Probably because you have a lot of financial commitments you need to meet up with, you have a lot of family issues you need to deal with. So you'll be able to do both of them at a time. And you mentioned that you have a very good time management skill, so you'll be able to blend both of them very well. So answer as truthful and as honestly as possible. The 9th question you want to prepare is prepare questions for the interviewers. Ask them questions. You cannot go for an interview and you are just receiving questions without preparing any questions for the team. No. When you ask them questions and very pertinent questions, they know that this person knows what they are doing and this person is someone we should keep. Because one thing you don't know, note that the interview process is a two-way street. While the school chooses you, you choose them as well. So you should ask questions for them. Ask vital questions about how their program is, how their alumni are doing, how much support they accord to their PhD students. Ask them a lot of questions. You can also ask questions about the diverse nature of their PhD applicants or their PhD students. So you want to know whether where you're going to, the equality, equity, and diversity is well respected. So it's very pertinent. And the last thing, but not the least, be confident, be assertive. be calm. So you want to do these things so that you'll be able to articulate your responses in a way that is very understandable, but it shows that you're putting in a lot of firmness and belief in what you say. So you don't want to be timid. You want to answer your questions very well. And please don't forget to smile while you're answering your questions and during the interview as well. It's not a do or die affair. Don't sweat it, but be as relaxed as possible. Try. I know it's hard. Try to be as relaxed as possible. And know that even if you prepare all of these things, you might still get questions that you did not prepare for or questions that you don't know. Because you're simply not God. You do not know everything. So if you don't know the answer to a question, that's fine. Kindly say, sorry, I don't have the answer to this, but I'll do a research immediately after this interview and I'll give you a response to this question in an email afterwards. That way they know that first, you are honest that you do not know the answer. Second, you are even willing to take an extra step to do a research about the question. And thirdly, you will give them feedback about the research you do. So this is wonderful. I don't think any interview panel will not want to keep someone who demonstrates these wonderful virtues during an interview. So I wish you all the best in your preparation for your interviews. Let us know how it goes. Thank you so much for staying right to the end and see you in our next videos. Bye.